And
course.
yes, it's kind of an honor to have join you on the YouTube channel.
Thank you. We're live. So,
Yeah.
hey guys,
Okay.
here joined by Jacky. How's it
Yeah.
going?
Hi. Hi. How are you?
We're just getting everything set up. So thank you guys if you guys were here, if you're watching live. Sorry for the delay. We're just getting everything all set up and so that we can share everything with you guys. Jacky, I'll give you a chance first before we get to talking, just to kind of introduce yourself. Maybe uh, whatever you want to say to introduce yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Sure thing. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the channel again to this job. I'm the how to say Australian champion for GBWC this year and also pretty much last year as well. So
Mhm.
I feel lucky to be here and talking about my experience with GBWC. And also, as a kind of a casual modeler, I feel very happy to share my experience and also have a little bit chat about my thoughts about my model. And yes, thank you for coming, for inviting me to over here.
Yeah. So this is just on like a quick note to anybody watching. We're going to be talking today with Jacky, and then there's a number of other GBWC champions representatives from last year that I will also be interviewing in the coming weeks as well. So Jacky's just the first one, but there is going to be more as well too. So if you guys do want to see those as well, make sure to just kind of follow for that. But we're going to talk. I mean, this is our first time talking, so we don't know each other. Some of the other people who are there, like I know David, George, I know a little bit as well. And so, but we haven't actually talked that much before. So I'm just interested to know kind of a little bit about, first off, just some of your experience, how you got into Gunpla, maybe when you started, how long you've been modeling.
Okay, yeah. Gunpla is always my favorite subject. You know, when I not working, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's biggest hobby so far, and I've been spent a lot of time to building Gunplas. I think I was obviously migrate to Australia almost like 10 years ago. So yes, being to be able to how to say being a champion or then visit Japan, this is always one of my like dream. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I've been entering the GBWC I think since 2017. And
Oh.
yes, so being 17 and then 19, because they holding the whole shows in the Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
I'm located in Melbourne, so what not actually at the beginning. I'm not actually entering every time, and especially since COVID, then they kind of like stop in the middle for a couple of years. But I do actually start re-entering during the COVID time as well, and then there's I think I win the place in during the COVID when they changing to the Gunpla Builder 40th anniversary competition,
Mm-hmm.
and then last year, or actually right now the year before last year, I win the first place once they do, and then they do the virtual online gathering, which is also very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year, 2023, the 11th year, I finally had a notice say, "Oh, I can visit Japan
Yeah.
with first place." I was very excited, and
Yeah.
yes, it's kind of for me, it's kind of dream, actually the dream come true. So because I've been doing the hobby for a long time since high school, and then go to after arriving in Australia, is I kind of like quit the job for a while, and then once everything settled down, I think I back to the hobby. So my family actually very support me. So I feel very lucky. They actually I have my room. You can see like a
Yeah.
table over here, so I
Mm-hmm.
can put my hobbies into over here, and then starting to build something different. And then obviously I have my kind of my skill set set up with the military style Gunpla. And yes, and it works out very well. And I very appreciate all the judges, all the people who like my works. And yes, they put me on the first place. And then yes, I feel lucky. And also, it's GBWC. I think it's more like a very big platform. You can meet all different builders from different countries. And how do you say? meet them in person in the final in the Japan in Tokyo. It's a very very interesting because everyone has their own style, and there's so much things you can learn from them. And yes, inspiration is the biggest thing. Like the Kawaguchi said this year on the video. So you guys need to talk to each other and learn different skills, and then improve your skills later on and bring more interesting work. And I think that's the whole point to get like the GBWC happening all the time. And my personal feeling is like GBWC, they does actually accept more different styles, as because for me, this kind of work, it's not actually like the kids bash or something like that. You promote more how do you say kids Bandai's, and then make it more very commercial feeling. My style is more like how do you say using the old kits, but in blending some new ideas and then the painting skills. And I can see they give me a very high score on paintings. And yes, give me a, be honest, the score is a little bit higher than I expect, because this year they actually give everyone scores, so you can actually see how good you are in the whole 10 rankings. And we have a group and we share all the scores and then discuss like what kind of things we do, and like a Facebook Messenger group. And yes, we actually form up this kind of like a small group, and then everybody is like an input and get your input in over there. So which I think is very good, and yes, very good experience for me, and a very good form of learning, and share your experience, share your things over there.
Yeah, there's a lot that we'll talk about like your entry and your experience there. You mentioned about the influence of military modeling. Did you do military modeling before you got into Gunpla?
Yes, a lot of people actually ask that.
Yeah.
And actually, is I'm not.
Yeah.
I
you
guess
do it as well, or you just like the influence?
I guess the influence is more than I'm actually doing it, because I played sci-fi model at the beginning, like Gunpla and other things. Like I even make like a racing car models or something like that at the beginning. But military is this territory I didn't really into that at the beginning. And because there's a lot of things you have to reference correctly to do the military model. So, and I don't want to make something like that far beyond when they put on that and then feel, oh, this is the wrong decals, and this is wrong like details you added in or something like that, because I'm kind of very casual and rough modeler. So yes, I'm actually not into the military model at all. But the style, I guess, the more competition I entering, and the more things I can, you need to find something unique. And be honest, in Australia, most of the model shows I can enter or I went to see is more like a military model, like airplane, tanks, and something like that, which is because the phenomenon over here for how military model popular in Australia is far beyond my image. And then when I look into these models, yes, I do absorb a lot of things, and the things I want to put into my sci-fi models. And yes, that's what I do. So yeah, directly learn their skills and then put these styles into my model, and also I have a chance to access a lot of like how do you say, secondhand parts of this military model. So I actually bought a lot of like junk parts from military models. So that's the reason I can blending them into my my works as well. So yes, because the environment and also the the sourcing, the cost this I have into this style. So yes.
So I think like basically you really like that kind of style, and especially the painting, weathering, modeling style of military models, but also like the creativity that you're able to do more with like Gunpla and sci-fi modeling, not being restrained by the realism of military models.
Correct.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Is there any particular modelers, just kind of talking a little bit more about kind of your past experience, any particular modelers that like you really look to, whether they be military or Gunpla, or kind of a mix of both like yourself, that you really like, that you look to for inspiration?
Yes. There's a couple from Japan on Twitter. I think Kyoto is the one of my favorite mix. Like how do you say, mix bashing modeler.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln, of course, because I talked to Lincoln, and he is a very, very good friend for me, and his
Mm-hmm.
painting skill is definitely the best, and
Mm-hmm.
especially hand printing. So recently I have a chance to talk to him and also have a small talk interview with him. I'm still editing the video, but yes, I will definitely put it on later on in my channel. Probably not on YouTube because I have always a little bit problem with YouTube.
Okay.
But probably put them on my Weibo or maybe Bilibili site, and then
Okay.
we can talk about more MAK related stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so also I think in Japan, there's a couple of other modeler I'm really looking to have a, later on if I have chance, I have like talking to them. And also in China mainland, there's a lot of friends and people who I really like to introduce or prevent like promote their jobs, and they have very, very good style. Be honest, in China there's a couple of champion over there, and also the like Ray and other model maker. They actually I like their styles, but probably I'm not gonna using their styles. But I do really get a lot of inspiration from them. For example, Ray, the Orizaku champion from China, the first one,
Yep.
and he actually make a lot of models from the like cell phones or something like at the beginning. This is fascinating, to be honest. You make all the parts from the mobile phone, like CPUs and cameras, whatever, and build a robot, which is very, very frustrating, fascinating, and yes, you can never gets any more creativity from him, and he keep inspiring other people using these small skills on his channel, which is I think is very good. And yes.
Is there I guess you mentioned Lincoln like painting machine Krieger as one of the other things that I wanted to ask you, just because of your style. I can imagine that maybe other than Gunpla, there's some other different kinds of model kits that you like. Is there anything in particular that you like to build and work on other than like Gundam mecha model kits?
Yes, I do make a lot of different models. I do, how to say, if I can show my works over here, maybe give you some idea what kind of like how to say kits I'm interested in, and what's my probably share a little bit what's my next project as well. Because I usually do is like get some a little bit browsing on different like a PixIV these websites. So they have a lot of people who have inspiration of their original like sci-fi painting or something like that, like or concept design or something like that. So I actually once I see something I'm interested, I will definitely save it in my folder, and then later on it could be used on my model. So a lot of them actually coming from these concept work. So so I guess once you have a folder of your own, and then start to thinking about what kind of model or what kind of kits I can use into that to make it actually work, happens. And then yes, you will find out you have to need a lot of kits to accomplish the final concept. So if I can.
Sure.
Let me
You
show
take a
you
look at some.
some.
And also, I will just let people know while you're opening that. I mean, that of course, you're on Instagram and Twitter, where people can see a lot of images of your work there as well, under the name which I have here in the video title, TearsofElin.
Yeah.
So if people want to check your work, I'll add the links as well later on in the video description.
Yeah, sure.
But here you go.
Here we go.
Okay.
So yes, you can see this one of actually I blending a lot of different models in that, and you can see on the wings there's this is the airplane, the 148 one, and then the whole body is I think it is 148 airplane as well, and then on the top it is the 12700. So 12700 like a
castle
military ship over there, and then there's some kachapon for the for the statue over here,
Uh-huh.
and the castle is actually the 3D printed one over here. So, and also all these small parts from the you see there's I think that's one of the Jeep's wheel, and yes, a lot of small parts. Even I described some of the hard drive like arms in the disk inside the internal panels, and then break into to that. So yes, you can blend in anything you like in the sci-fi territory. So yeah, it's not just which kit you talking about. It's more like what kind of idea you want to express, and then find out the right path for it. And yes, and if you keep looking the underneath, these are the how do you say? I think it's a soft alien. You know, the alien and the predators.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's one of the like the tails of the alien. I don't remember which toys are using, but when I got it, it's this one you can bend and soft toys, soft plastic. So you actually bend it into the shape you like, and then put it underneath. So give it more creatures feelings of the whole ship. So yeah, I this job is actually I call it the whale for sailing, which is one of my how to say the battleship series. Because I have another one which is called, let me see where it is, that one.
Oh, that's very cool. When did you do that whale work?
I did this work around 2000, I think it's 2 years ago. 2 years ago, yes, yeah. And 1 year before, I built up that one, which is the Yamato with the aliens. So yeah, so that's actually another kind of my interest the making models. The whole point I'm making sci-fi model is like one day I can build something like that. So blending all these different things into that to something I want to express. So yes, you can see that on the top half is the Yamato, and then on the tail there's some transformers and parts and some other. I think it's the evangelation parts, EVA part. Model parts as well, and underneath is the underneath on the top is the alien. I think the mother eater or something like that. I can't remember the name. Blending the head off there, and also the some fins on the side, and then the whole base is the I think it's from Gunpla, La Cephlia, the the big like flower things. Yes, and that's something I think the sci-fi is like how to say, this kind of work doesn't limit you into anything. You can build anything you like basically. And you can see on the side panel I put some Chinese words on that, which is from Xiao Yao Yu, which is something describe the whole title. This work I in Chinese I call it Kun, which is some creature from the novel very long time ago. You have a wing and you can open the wings and then couple of miles, something like that, which is very huge creatures in the Chinese mystery. So yeah. So it's quite fitting to this the setup over here. So yeah.
Wow. There's a lot of like really interesting aspects of that. I guess the mix of all the different elements is like really interesting. Is that something that I know, just like based on your past couple of GBWC works, I mean, and just kind of the way that GBWC works is that it has to be Gunpla focused, and you can't put stuff like this in it, right? But is that so? Do you feel that that's kind of limiting to you? Like you feel a little bit limited when you're working on a GBWC entry because you can't include stuff like that?
Yes and no. Be honest, I know GBWC they have their rules. Obviously, this is more like a like as I said before, it's a commercial competition. So obviously they have their job to promote their kits. So I totally understand the rule why they limit only to the Gunpla kits, but doesn't say you limit your imagination down here. And also, be honest, the reason why I say this year's they actually first of all, once they allowed me to my works to present Australia, they already proved some point. They actually very open mind because I do use few 3D print parts into my work, and they didn't actually, what I say, disqualify me or mark my score down, and which I already appreciate. So I'm not saying that the kits should be your limitation. I would say more like your ideas and your craft and your how do you say the I guess I have to quote whatever the GBWC rule or the final scores scoreboard to explain how I guess how they to mark your works. Basically, craftsman, painting, and then the idea. That's the three aspects they look into your works. And if I can give you an example of, let me see if I can get some close up.
Yeah, I know in just while you're pulling that up, that when it comes to certain things like use of 3D printed parts, I mean, the rules are a little bit vague in that.
Yes, that's right.
It doesn't say that you can't use them, but it just says that, those.
Yeah, I guess the percentage of them is very important. For example, if you want to use the 3D parts, obviously they're not going to stop you to using that. But how many percentage in your work could be a very, very sensitive topic.
Sure.
Because obviously you can, for example, the EZ8 I'm presenting over here. I don't know why the picture is still the previous one, but yeah. If you're looking at the whole shape,
behind.
A little bit behind. I would say if your work is 80% or 90% still using the original kit, yeah, here we go. You can see that, for example, you can still tell the original kit from the model work, and I would say this is allowed it because you can see on my shoulder over here and all the backpack and also the knees, in between the knees, I use the 3D parts, 3D printed parts inside, but not breaking out the original shape. And then only you can feel, okay, you have a lot of works, a lot of details in there, but not breaking out the original, like the kind of feeling of Gunpla feeling. And then, yeah, I think it's allowed it. But if you have like a huge 3D printed parts and changing the whole shape and changing to your own design style, for example, you change the whole shoulders one to the 3D print parts, and then this no longer is to be able to see this is a Gunpla kit, and then this is a question mark. So I guess depends on the percentage or depends on what's the purpose for doing that. And also you can see I actually use some other models from other than Gunpla, like the machine guns over here. This is one of the kits I'm using from the 4D model from China, China branded. And major of them is like a 126 machine gun, and but I blend into the Gunpla, I'd say pass into that, make it looks like original. How do you say the one from the animation, and so I guess it's still accepted. I didn't actually. Maybe I got some markdown on that one, but I think it's still fitting to my styles, the whole models, and then yeah, it works.
Yeah, it's interesting how like something like this is very similar and different, and also from like the previous models you were showing, like with the submarine and the whale themed ones. I mean, you can still see the same like essence of like modeling style. But I mean, like this one being like a scene, like basically depicting a scene from the anime, right?
Yes.
Compared to something which is so different, imaginative, like the previous builds. I mean, very different, but still recognizable. Your work, I think.
Correct.
With this one also, I mean, so this was just so that everyone watching knows. So this was your build for GBWC for last year that you took to Japan.
Correct.
And so there's a a lot of stuff that we can talk about here with this. So one of the things that I wanted to point out, in case anyone hadn't noticed, is the mix of scale as well, to have the force perspective. The EZ8 in the foreground being in 1/100 scale, correct? And the
Correct.
it's
That's
in the
right.
background being HG based.
That's right.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, definitely. This is actually one of my ideas still from the, I think it's one, I remember there's a couple of years back, there's a PG Exire. And I think the GBWC champions, they do the prospective feeling of the model, and using the PG in the front, and then the whole seams, and the whole seams actually shrink into the small size in the very, very close up. And yes, I got some kind of inspiration from that as well. So I want to create something like this as well. So I using mixed style, mixed scales of the models. So EZA is the always the emphasis point. So I'll make it 100, 1 to 100 in the front, and then in the far away point, we're using 144 to create this kind of construction. And then the bridge also. So this is more like a bigger in the front and small at the end. Very, very tiny change over here. So when you see the real life, probably not that obvious, but on the photos, I can see this one pretty well. I pretty much give you this perspective feelings of that. And then, yes, mixing this one is kind of my first attempt to doing something like that. And lucky for me, I think this one presents not too bad. Yes. And yeah.
Was there anything while you're working on this, if it, like you said, was your first time trying this, I mean, while you were in the process of building, was there anything that was like particularly challenging that maybe made you think like, oh, I don't know if I can really make this work? Or what were some of the most difficult points for you?
Yes and no, because I know it's gonna work because I saw some other people's work similarly on the Twitters before. I know this style 100% will work. The perspective, the bigger and small, scales model mixing together. But the challenging thing is whether you can make it very well, and also especially when you scratch build the bridge over here. So basically you have to kind of like calculating the size, the scales, how they changing, and whether they can give you the audience the feeling of the perspective, the feeling of that, and how you actually lay out the how to say the diorama in which direction or which angles to make it like give the audience this feeling immediately, and how to present the idea. The reason I turned this the bridge a little bit angle is because in the front you can see the figures over here. So I want to give the audience have one view. You can see all the details, all the parts. You can all the stories, lines, and the small details in one picture. So in the front. So that's the reason I choose that one. Actually, I'm not saying like it's all easy to put everything together, especially when I want to do the water seams underneath the river. I actually failed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because when I put the resin over there and the base sand, whatever, is kind of like haven't grew into the base very well, or kind of like a too thin. So when I put the first layer of the resin, actually the whole underneath color is all pulling up. So I have to add the second layers and then put the green color different things onto that to cover the film. So yeah, water thing is kind of something I didn't expect, because especially when you make up the bridge and the base, everything, and then pour the resin and ruin everything, it's really distress.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but luckily I got some of them covered, and which is not a big problem overall. But yes, I definitely think I can do better next time when I do the river, the water. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like when you have a problem like that, you either you're able to fix it, or you have to just try it again. I assume that it's good that you were able to fix it and not have to completely redo that part. But I'm sure.
That day when I saw the second day when I poured the resin, the morning I come up and I check out what's going on and what's the effect. I was so upset because
Yeah.
everything is ruined. And then I was thinking, oh, I have to go to the shop and buy another the frame, and then go to another probably redo the base, everything. I say, oh, that's very depressing. And then okay, I say, why not try something new? So I went to the model shop and then keep looking for some new stuff, and then found some green like a water effect things on that. I say, just buy this, have a try, see how it goes. And then turn out, yes, it can cover. So I keep second layer, third layer, and then until everything is covered. And then yes, here we go.
It worked out. Yeah, I don't really. I've seen that it wasn't like a OVA. It was more just like kind of a mini episode, right? And I mean, it's like in the jungle, right? So I mean, it kind of makes sense that the water would be sort of greenish color. So I think it works fine. Yeah.
Yes. I
Um,
guess when you have the difficulty to make models, or you found kind of a setback, take a breath and then looking for some new stuff, looking for some new angle to solve the problem. This is the fun of making model. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like as you were mentioning, just kind of about the perspective, but just overall how you had everything placed, the angle of the bridge and everything. I think the composition of it is really nice. For sure, it's one where,
Thank
like
you.
you said, when you view it from the front, you can see everything.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the designed viewpoint. But
Yeah.
looking at it from the side, it's still interesting to look at from the sides and from the back, and there's stuff to
Yeah.
see kind of all around. And
Correct.
there's a lot of great details in and around there. One of the things that I wanted to ask you too was about the bridge. So you said that was all scratch built.
Yes, correct. So basically, you can see the bridge, the base, everything is just the foam. I use I think I from Bunnings or something like that. I have the texture paving things onto that, and it's really like a cement. And then the top of the bridge is I think I use the 3D printed parts on the side panel. So you can see the arch of the steel one, which is that part, which is 3D printed, and I just a little bit angles onto that, so make it fitting to the perspective size. And then the old I see side over here. I think the photo is getting slow again.
Yeah, we'll see when the photos advance. That's fine.
And then where's the figures standing on. So these are made from the how to say junk parts. I think one of them is using the evergreen one as a standard, and then the paving is the I think one of the I think iPhone screen protector covers. They actually have very interesting texture, like the real the panel on the how to say the footsteps paving on that. So I use that one to on the side panel over here. Other than that, yes, it's pretty straightforward. I didn't put a lot of efforts onto the bridge. How to say, with all different parts, basically because this is just a base. I'm more like try to put more details on for example, the signs underneath, and then other things to make the model. When you view this model, you can see all different small details, and then surprise you in the small details. Because I know my model can be viewed from one angle very well. So when you viewing the whole model on the 360 degrees, so you have to add some Easter egg in that to surprise the audience. So I guess this is kind of my trick. So when something I'm not actually very confident to using the model skills, then I get some ideas in there. So for example, on the back of the bridge, yes, I put some Xeon sign, and some hand printing Xeon logos over there. So to make it more fun to when you're looking at them. And also because I think last year GBWC, they actually required all the entrants and all the participants to providing 360-degree photos of the model, which is
Mm-hmm.
something new for me when I actually
Mm-hmm.
finally received that request from the GBWC,
Mm-hmm.
because they asking me to take a photo of your model 360-degree, like continually 15 angles per photos.
Uh-huh.
I know this is more like because they want to present it online,
Uh-huh.
but again, they keep me thinking like, okay, how can I present my model in the full 360-degree angles,
Mm-hmm.
and which all the angles or from the whole from the model, with how you can surprise the audience. So yes, obviously my subject this year is kind of like an angle limited. So
Mm-hmm.
what can I do to improve that? So then I start to think about, oh, sure, adding this and adding that, and then make it the model more fun when you're viewing it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it's a way to kind of lead the viewer's eye kind of around to maybe, like you said, you mentioned that you didn't spend like as much time on like certain parts of the bridge, but you can kind of make people not to notice that
Yeah,
by, drawing their eye somewhere else to, you have some
correct,
other kind of
correct.
interesting details over here, or like viewing from the front. I mean, like you said, the Easy 8 is supposed to be like the main focus there. So like when people are going to be looking at it, they'll be focusing on, certain
Yes.
points where you're adding the detail in for people to look at. When it came to the painting for this, is it all airbrushed, hand painted, or is it a mix of both?
Yeah, definitely mix. Yes, airbrush is the kind of more basic colors separation.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the big painting like a white, blue, or something, yes, 100% airbrush is used, and then all the details will be hand brushed. I guess this is also my recent how do you say workflows when I do models. So internal frame, I tend to use the metallic colors. So you can see the Easy 8, all the internal frame on the whatever the structure, using different metal colors, and then outside the armor, base white, off white, kind of yellow. I blending some yellows into that, so make it more not that cold white, but as a contrast on the how to say 78G on the small one on the back, I use the cold white. Because I guess in the animations also give you that
Yeah.
feeling, since they have different whites in there. So try to do some differentiations over here. And then all the small chipping, everything is hand brush, and also weathering, obviously hand brush as well. So yes, a lot of different skill mixing. I'm not kind of fixing to some particular style. Particular skill like airbrushing everything or not, because some people can do airbrushing for everything, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
I see, because the airbrush or what I've been using, if I cannot reach to that detail, yes, hand brush is okay. Yeah.
I do want to actually, that would be interesting to talk a little bit more about some more tools and things later on. But just to continue on this one a little bit, I wanted to ask you about the scoring, because I guess when it came to, even before you went to Japan, but maybe in Australia, did you expect to win, or maybe was there other works there that you expected might actually beat you? And then also, I guess when you went to Japan too, were the scores about what you expected, or different?
Okay. Well, be honest, GBWC in Australia, I think because how to say that, I entered in the GBWC, or keep entering that since 2017, as I mentioned before. So especially the two times when I actually dropped my work into the Sydney, I can feel like it's a lot difference than the recent couple of years. Be honest, the first 2 years when I entering, I didn't get any score or any place at all, because I can see there's a lot enthusiasm Gunpla builders down there, and especially I think 2019, when I went over there, present one of my work, which probably I can show you over here later on. I feel it's not bad one. But end up I didn't get any place, and then I found out, oh, there's so many better works than me, and on that years, which one I very like. There's one work from one of the builder from Sydney. I think that one can win the first prize, but unfortunately they've been disqualified for some reason. For the size, I think eventually they say it's only half centimeter too big or something like that.
Okay.
So I really think that could be very interesting to when in the memory. And so I always think there's a lot of builders actually in Australia. They can do fantastic job. So I didn't expect too much for the last couple of years. But I guess I can feel there's a little bit cooling down, or maybe the builders in Australia is not into the Gunpla subject. So my time to show.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Every time I enter in work, I feel like there always could be some surprise to me. I'm never gonna be so disappointed if I didn't get any place, because I enter in different kind of competitions, not only GBWC and other things as well. Sometimes I got nothing, and sometimes I might win some point or win some place as well. I never actually gonna be so disappointed on that one, because obviously I'm just a casual builder or casual modeler, so not a full-time one. I didn't anticipate to spend too long or too much time on that one. This is just one of my hobbies. So I don't. Yes, if I can win or I can have a chance to, for example, this time I go to Japan, why not? It's definitely, I'm happy. But if I didn't win anything, I'm not that upset as well, because I entered in so many different competitions before. And yes, I can see there's a long passing way through here, and I didn't win anything. And then eventually, the last couple of years, started winning something. So yes, just get your attitude balanced, and then you don't. I guess depends on if you do a full-time modeler. Yes, 100%, you want to win something, and you want to get into the first place or second place or whatever, and it didn't go as you expect. Yes, you get upset. I can totally understand. I've been there as well. But yes, last couple of years I started winning something, and then yes, it's kind of like encouraging me to go further, go better, and do more works, spend more time on modeling. But not saying that if I'm not winning or not getting any place, and I'm gonna stop. So no, it's yeah.
Sure. And then in Japan, if like you said, you mentioned the scores. If people don't know, basically the judging in Japan at the finals is based off of craftsmanship, painting, and idea. So basically, as your score went for those categories at the finals, was it about what you expected, or did they end up scoring you kind of higher or lower in any category than you would expect it might have been?
Yeah. Yes. Well, yes, definitely we can discuss that, because my score, I was surprised. Actually, they gave me pretty much 71 out of the 90. So actually, it's not a low score compared to the others, because I know the third place have the 72. Because the first three actually published on the website or on their channels, so everybody can see that they have a lot of scores on the craftsmanship and ideas, which is higher than me. So yeah, I totally agree with that, because for example, the third place from Taiwan, he actually spent a lot of time to have this idea and then present the I think the G self very well in that base. And also, if you look into the base in the detail, you will see surprise how many work he actually done over there. So I think he actually have the best base display during the whole amount of work. Yeah, because all the different color separation on the G self, like painting, he used the how to say, the plot plate to layer every layer different colors, and then created the G self face, the eyes in the front, and then the as a cutting mat, the separating to mechanical structures is very, very good, and very detailed. Even inside the base, you can see the details inside. So yes, that's very amazing. Not just the G self, he working on it itself, not and also all the details. He paid a lot of attention on that, and then have a very good present as well. And obviously, the painting job is fantastic. To be honest, way better than me. But yes, I feel I'm very lucky to get a very bit high score on the painting. So they gave me actually 25 out of 30, which is the scoreboard over here. I feel like they do appreciate my painting work, which is very, very how to say surprised me, because I was expecting probably middle to lower of the whole tiers of the GBWC, but looks like I'm in the middle and a little bit above the middle, I guess.
Okay.
So I do appreciate that, and yes, it give me more reason to spend more time in next year's job.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, whether it's, better or lower than what you expected, I mean, it's helpful for you to
Yes,
kind of
that's right. They do
understand
give
the
me
judge's
some
perspective.
instruction and what I should improve in the future. So yeah,
Yep.
the scoreboard or the final score mark tables, they do help us, and I think they help every builders in over there to understand what's your luck, what is you need to improve, and what is something you're good and should keep on. Yes.
Did you were you able to, I think, like, from when I was there, I think you normally don't have the opportunity for this, but did you get the opportunity to talk with any of the judges to get some direct feedback from any of them?
Unfortunately, no, because I think this year's GBWC, the time schedule is quite tight.
Yeah.
And doesn't like the previous years from the other people's review. So we don't have much opportunity to talk to the judge at all. The whole event, I don't know, probably because my first entry there, I think this is like I've been busy with setting up the work at the beginning around I think it's we arrived over there around the 11:30, something like that in the morning, and then start setting up the job. And then afterwards, I just because I set up my work very quick, and so I have a chance to talk to the other how do you say the other countries people, basically taking photos with them and have a chat with them, and something like that. And then we went to lunch. And when I back from the lunch, pretty much the final score, everything is ready. So yes, I guess only the first three, they have some kind of very detailed comment ones on the presentation. But all the other work, I think they haven't got any detailed comments from personally or officially of that. But the scoreboard does present already some feedback from them. So I guess you can definitely learn something from that. But yes, if there's some follow-up and with some reviews from the judge, which could be better, or maybe next time when I have chance, I can ask them in person.
Yeah. One more thing about the judging that I wanted to ask, I guess, like when you were, I guess this is going like back to the very beginning of when you were starting this project. And when you started the project, and if you knew that you were making it for GBWC, I mean, like right from the start, are you thinking about like, okay, the judges are going to like this, or if I do this, are you thinking about that, or are you just making it however you want and then you just see what the judges say?
Good question.
A little bit of both, maybe.
Yeah, because this project is starting from when I'm making the Easy 8. Basically, this model, when I started at the beginning of 2023, the beginning of the year, I didn't think to be entering as a GBWC kit at all. I was just making this for fun, and then because obviously I didn't stop me to using the 3D print parts on that one, because I didn't think about the rules at all. So when I finished that one, the Easy 8, and I think yes, it's not too bad, because overall still fitting to the GBWC rules, and why not to expand into a diorama. And then I keep looking, and then make the second 79G on the back. and then I make the bridge. And then I start thinking, okay, because I didn't do the whole bridge things, like the bottom part at the beginning. I only used the panel on the top, and then I went to enter this one as one of my, I think, my vlog things as well. So try to share some experience of how to making diorama and 3D parts together, and then come to me. I still have time for the GBWC. I think in June. I think in April or something. When I'm back from China as a trip, and then I feel, I still have 2 months to entering the GBWC. So should I complete the whole things? Because this image is already in my mind at that time, but I didn't have time to build that. And then, okay, I think why not push myself a little bit and then complete the whole things over here. And then I started making the fly Gufu over here. And then the whole base over here. So actually, I complete the whole thing in a very rush time, especially the bottom part. And so you can see there's a way less weathering on the fly type on the back, and also I can see the setback on that one because I really in the deadline before. So yes, but eventually I put everything together and then submit the photo to GBWC at the middle of the year. I think not actually my first intention when I'm building the whole thing, but yes, the idea is there. I kind of like know I will enter this case into the. Yeah, because I don't know whether I can finish it. That's the big problem. The time is always some disadvantage for the Australian builders because we are the first one to start the whole things and then first one to have the deadline. The other countries builders, they probably into August or September have the time frame to submit their work. But we are the pretty much only the way less times than the other peoples to entering the whole thing. So yes, I never know. It's always a competition to running with time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess of course, if the deadline was coming and you didn't feel like it was ready, I mean, the option is there to just keep working on it until the next year, but it would just be really disappointing, right? To feel like that.
And sometimes the passion you're making that's okay to miss the deadline is since I missed it, I probably leave it, and next year you probably don't have any passion to redo it or submit it because you probably have more different ideas, something like that. So yes, to meet the deadline, I think is the big problem for the Australian builder.
Sure. Yeah. On that note, I mean, about making sure that you have enough time. I mean, sometimes in that case, you may have to make sacrifices or something. I mean, is there any certain aspects of the build that you would say are like a couple of your favorite points or a couple of your least favorite points, like points that you feel like you really wish you would have done better, or any points that you feel like you did really well, you're really happy with?
I guess it depends on every project you want to do. So yes, for example, this time my fun part is always like a scratch building. Oh, sorry, not scratch building, like a detail adding on the all the kits. Like because you can see it's still kind of kit bashing, plus extra details I make on the most of the Gunpla build. This is always my biggest fun part when I'm making models, especially Gunpla models. And then the scratch building is also definitely one of my fun because yes, when you do scratch building, obviously you don't follow anything, so you just do whatever you like. And so whatever the shape you want to cut out and what kind of materials you're using, and this is everything is kind of new, and then it's giving me more fun when I'm testing them or try to use them on the first time. So yes, this is the fun of the model building. Obviously, there's something I'm not familiar with, and then we failed. And this kind of setback always can kind of ruin the whole mood of making models. But again, depends on how you looking into that problem. And if you have something, okay, I want to try this, maybe it failed, but I found some other way around to fixing that. And as long as you can accept that, yeah, go ahead. And it still can be fun process. And so yes, obviously, I my how to say my problem or my something I'm not happy with the whole thing or the whole job over here is kind of like I can spend more time on detailing, especially in so for example the grass or the other small details. I can definitely improve a lot, especially the water thing underneath. And so that's something I can definitely try to learn later on, and then improve on that point. And also the I think the idea or the whole layout is I can improve that later on as well, because obviously I want to emphasize is perspective views, but again, this only angle limited. So this kind of when you turn the model around and then you can see now feeling weird, especially on the side or on the back of the model when you're viewing it, it's kind of very weird angle and not presenting very well. So yes, later on maybe I can find out some other ways to present the work way better than just one angle limited. So it could be my next projects, like the whole focus point, how to view this model in 360 degree and still have very good I think like a structure or have a very good viewing angles on that, no matter how you turn the models. Could be my next project.
It's a little bit difficult, I think, particularly like this, where you're wanting to portray a particular scene from the anime, because as we're seeing it in the anime and as we're seeing it like here, like from the front, it's very cinematic. But in the anime, it's not a 360 degree view, right? It's just one frame, and so like that's how we're seeing it here, and it looks good. But then how do you make that interesting to see from the side, right?
Correct.
It certainly can be a challenge. With this one also, there was I was going to ask you about, what was that? I lost it, but I guess with going into the future on like your future builds, is there anything like, are you going to try something like this again, where it's going to be like a full scene, or do you think that you're going to try a little bit different style maybe for the next one?
Yes. Actually, I'm always trying different things into plastic model. So yes, I've show you some of my work is pretty much similar to that style. But actually, I'm actually doing a lot of different things as well. For example, something like this. I like shiny things as well. And also there's a something like this. The LED mirage, the 5-star story things, and you can see this is all Gunpla based kids bashing 5-star stories.
Wow.
Yes, so it's I know the wave or as a company they have make a very good kit on that one, but yes, this is one of my entry to the I think it's Otaku 8 in the A. Yes, that's right. I enter that one and then get some. I think get the first place at there as well. So yes, interesting. Because this is something I was enthusiasm before to make kids bashing and then building something out of just Gunpla, but using the Gunpla kit. Yes, I know. Obviously, it's against the GBWC rules.
So you can't enter in GBWC, but
yes.
So, still fun.
But yes, this is something I was doing before as well. So I actually try to adopt different ways, and you can see the painting clean, polished. So yes, I be honest, I still think I'm entering the model build for not that long, but still have a lot thing I can try on and test out, and then see different style, which one is suitable for me. And
Well,
obviously, I do have a little bit accomplishment at the weathering, and then GBWC confirmed
mhm.
this is okay, one of the good painting skill, whatever over here.
Mm,
But yes, and not gonna stop me to trying something different. No,
sure.
it,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's good not to, not to say, okay, this is my style that I do, and then just only do that. I mean, it's great
yeah.
to, try out
And
different
and
styles. Mm.
and plus, every day when I'm looking at the Twitters, there's always some new stuff coming
Mhm.
out, and
Yeah.
also on Weibo's, on the social medias. These builders, the plastic model builder or Gunpla builders, they always
Mm.
bring something new to the social media, and then I
Mhm.
can learn from them. Be honest,
Sure.
I'm not gonna stop myself into some particular styles, and I think every time you make your next project, whatever, try something new. Always good.
Mm.
Don't be afraid of losing or fail, something like
Mm.
that. Just try
Mm.
something new. Whatever. This is just a model. If you're not satisfied with it, do next one.
Yeah, 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 exactly, right? It's not like it's something I've mentioned, from time to time on my channel as well, is that like, model kit companies don't make only one of a model kit. If
Correct.
you do something, maybe that you're unhappy with, or you build a model kit in this style and you think, oh, it would have also been cool to do it in another style, and you can always just get another one.
Yeah. Then I have to mention Lincoln. He
Mm,
doing the recent job or this recent project for one
mm,
model, different
yeah,
painting scale. Every
yeah,
single one is different. Every single
mm,
one have different camera on that, different how to say the skills you're using on that one. So
yeah,
yes, be honest, I'm kind of like get easily tired with if we keep building same models, but he
yeah,
actually have fun on it and then keep doing different one on it, and then
mm,
yes, it's different style, and as long as you're happy with that, and
mm,
yes, next time when you're looking at it, when you have some new ideas, just do another one. Yeah.
mm. One more thing that, well, actually a few things, but kind of subject I wanted to talk about GBWC was kind of more also just kind of about your experience there. Um, Starting with going back to one thing that you
Mm.
mentioned about the setup. I know that just from my
Mm.
experience there, and just kind of, it's a very hectic situation there when everybody's setting up and everyone's stressed out and sweaty and being super careful. Was, I guess, did you design your kit in a way that made it easy to transport? You said it was pretty quick, your setup, so it was fairly easy.
Yes, because I guess I didn't fix the model into some particular angles,
Hmm.
and so most of my works, if you take out the Gunpla case on the sim, is still like a full action.
Mm,
So yes, it's easy for me to set up different angles. So the
mm,
actual one in the right now in Japan, in Tokyo, Gundam base, the angle might be slightly different from whatever the photos or I take. So
mm.
that's the reason I say on my one is quite easy to set up because I
Okay.
didn't
Yeah.
actually fix into that. And
Mm,
some other modeler have the issue with the how to say fixed model because they all grew in, and then I heard some participants have a little bit trouble to separate them or packing them during
mm,
when they bring the works to Japan. So I don't really have that problem. The
mm,
only thing I modified on the work is the base, the bridge. Sorry, the bridge. So
mhm,
basically, I was glued everything into one piece
mhm,
when do the bridge, and then I have to separate and especially the bottom part of the bridge, and so
mhm,
make it you can compactly pack them. So
mhm,
I redo the structure inside and then put some extra things in there to make sure it can be disassembled and assembled
mhm,
easily.
mhm,
Apart from that, not much suggestion of the work because I don't want to, because of you have to carry the work to Japan and then
yeah.
ruin the idea for how you build up your models
Mm,
because that could be something you worry about later on, not
mhm,
actually at the beginning when you try to concept idea or something like that. Because this is the important part how you present your work at the first place, and worry about the rest later on.
mm,
Obviously, do some separation will be very helpful.
mm,
So I pack everything into one suitcase, so we can hand carry one, so we can take onto the airplane.
mm,
And some people they have a work very big, and they have to, I don't know, wrap it and pack it
mm.
into some big size, which are not allowed to take onto the airplane on board.
Right.
So you have to, normal luggage, and then yes, you expecting something might broken during the transport.
Mm.
But I guess depends on the size. If your work is not that big and you make your separation very well of all the parts, yes, you don't need to worry too much. I guess, and you can see the size actually doesn't really matter. This year's champion and from Canada, Simon do his work. Same thing as me. One suitcase, you're fitting everything into that.
Yeah.
And yes, it's not about the size, how you maximize use the 50 times 50, and the display cabinets over there. It's more like how much effort you into that and how you present your work properly. And you can see the Simon's work is also very perspective from top view, so very big 120 scale for his work, and then on the base they have a very small like a background with all the buildings, everything. He fully used the model Bandai given, because there's one particular series for the base for that one, and yes, presented very well on that one. So I guess yes, obviously the size give you the impact, especially offline competition. If you bring your works to the big size, definitely catching the eyeballs at first place. But if your work is good enough and all the details is equivalent, yes, you don't need to worry about the size of it. Smaller one also can do a good job.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, actually, since you brought up Simon's work, actually, did you have now? I mean, maybe not necessarily. I won't ask you to pick favorites, but I will ask you to pick your favorite. Did you have a favorite entry? Maybe not one that you thought was like
yes
the best or should have won, or something.
actually
Personal favorite.
Yes, that's totally fine, because I was how to say, Simon is sitting next to me, because my our alphabet, because the country is like, and when I have a chance to talk to him in person, I say, get prepared your words, your awarding words, and he said, no, I'm not gonna win. And then yes, because I have two favorite jobs in among all these this year's works. First one definitely Simon, because when I first saw that one, yes, pick up something not common, and he presents it very well. It's already plus for me. So no matter what kind of a result, eventually I would definitely appreciate his work. And plus, when you look into the details on his painting job, it's amazing. Handprint scale. You can see the hand brush, and hand printing skill is very, very, very high level, and something I can probably never achieve. But yes, it's definitely give me some fresh ideas how you presented the works, and how you blending the kits into the final models. Because he blending very well, way better than me. And also the second one is the Thailand one. I think it's the one with big Zaku, and a very fun style and a very personal style. So that's the reason I very appreciate that one, because once you saw his work, you can feel the joyful how happy when he is making model, and also the Hozaku wearing the pants, the patterns, the black white pattern pants, he actually wearing the same pants into the event as well. So yes, when I talking to him, because I remember a couple of years back he has the work, and also from original I think he won one of the champion as well. The every work he do is present his own personal styles very much and very unique, and including this year's one. Be honest, I think his score should be a lot higher than he actually gets, and I even think he should get some place in this year's as well, because the style he presents and the skill he using into that one is totally different, and has a personality on that. So because when I watching a Gunpla kits or model works over here, most of the subject is heavy and or something you because Gunpla obviously related to the wars or something like that. So when you see some of subject, you feel heavy, but from his work, you don't feel that. You feel only joyful and happiness on that one, and the luxury. How to say the the easygoing feelings on that one is no one can actually achieve. And yes, why not? This is the way you present your work and your lifestyle or something like that. Yeah, why
Yeah, I
not?
think
It's definitely a good approach, and I think oh, I could suggest Judge to give more score with this idea. Yeah, because it's never gonna be always gonna be a heavy subject when you're doing models. So get some joyful one to come to the table, and then yes, present. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to do. I mean, like you said, the model kits itself, the subject matter is not something that is it's not very conducive to something like lighthearted like that, and kind of more joyful, playful kind of style. And
Yeah,
so it's kind of a bit more challenging to
correct.
successfully make something like that
That's right.
with
That's
the
right.
material that you're starting off with. So it's certainly something. I mean, you see people doing it from time to time, but to see like it done in that really high level, I think is very challenging.
Yeah, that's right. That's
For
the
sure.
reason I say this kind of subject is very rare. When you seeing all these works among the on internet or something like that, the competitions, because yes, obviously robot is the wars or fighting is the romance of the robot, but yes, something more joyful is not a bad choice at all. So something refreshing will be more appreciated. I would say it will be more appreciated, especially when this environment, when you just out of COVID and and the world is coming back, we probably need more kind of like a casual jobs over here instead of just back into the wars or something like that. And so yes, make some more joyful models, which is something I want to see more kind of this work coming to the world. So I do appreciate the attitude and the personality he presents on his work. So these two so far is the my favorite one. Obviously, as there's other works like I think from other countries, they have very good skills on that one. I can learn a lot from them. For example, David, although he didn't spend too much time on this year's work, but he usually presents very big scales and the very how to say interesting ideas as well, especially the color he using on that one. So the painting job is fantastic. I guess depends on the style. He has his own kind of style on that one, and especially the painting skill on that one. So I was very interesting to learn if David can do something weathering in the future. Yes, yeah, because his work gave me the so pure feeling, because I want a close look at his work and the color he using, bright, and also the fluorescent pink or something like that he like to use on his model. It's always refreshing, and then give some kind of breeze from his works. You see, this is something like in summer, something like that. The whole painting skill is very clean and clear, very nice. But yes, you can imagine if David do some weathering job, what kind of work he come from. That would be very interesting, right?
Could be very interesting, yeah. So I guess we have just a little bit of time left here. Another thing that I wanted to talk about just while we're here, just because I think it's another aspect of GBWC that I think can be very motivating for people, of course, aside from like what we've talked about, it being a really great experience just as a modeler personally. It's a great like community experience. Like you said, you're meeting these other modelers and exchanging, a lot of great ideas and everything and experiences between each other. Also, just the experience of going to Japan too. Was it your first time there in Japan, or have you been there before?
This is actually my second time to Japan. I went there 2016 with my families. And this time, actually, I'm traveling alone, so I get more own time when I want to be there. I actually asked them to rearrange the air tickets, or actually, I rearranged the air tickets one couple of days before the event happened. So I had spent a little bit more time down there. And yes, I think wow, a few years, 6 years difference. Tokyo is still Tokyo. I can actually find most of the shop over there in the Akihabara, and but there's some change over here, definitely. And yes, and when you travel alone, you spend more time to observing on the street and then different people, and went to different shop, basically just shopping and keep buying.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask,
Yes.
did you buy anything interesting while you were there? I'm sure.
Yes, I definitely buy something interested, because I go to the Akihabara. I think I spent 2 days over there and searching for some interesting kits. And it turned out they're too big to fit in my carriage luggage.
Yeah.
So I actually end up buying some small stuff, especially the tools and some paintings as well. And yes, not much. How do you say? Model kits recommended, but their secondhand business is very well. So yeah, so I actually bought some secondhand figures and some other books. Actually, I bought a lot of books, very heavy, because recently I'm into the SIC, the Kamen Rider. So I actually bought a lot of. Actually, I found a lot of like secondhand books, which is very cheap and but very, interesting one to view. So I have a complete the whole set of this SIC saga. So that's actually description how to what's the Kamen Rider and what kind of work they're doing over there. The model works especially related, and also some other small stuff as well. So yes, basically shopping. But I'm more excited when actually on the event day. So during all these days trips, the best day ever is in the GBWC on that day, because you not only meet all these modelers on that day, and also the whole phenomenon in the GBWC and the event. They really good, and they invited the singer to on the event, and then which I think I heard the US represented. I think he actually starting to building the whole things since he watched the GBWC Gunpla Builder Fighters. Sorry, not GB, the Builder Fighters, the animation. So when he hear the song and they performance alive on the event, I think he have some tears in his eyes.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, the difference is totally different. When you see that, especially the second song, I feel that as well, because the second song is one I was very familiar with as well. So when I saw the animations, probably not impact as that much, but I can feel like almost like 8 years or something like that. When I first hear the sound, it's yes, and we hear it in live, which is totally different.
Yeah, it's such a unique, special experience, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, go. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to ask. So you said, well, going forward, I kind of asked you about it, but we didn't really talk too much about it. But I mean, I assume that you're planning on entering GBWC again, and maybe you're working on some different ideas. But I guess, is there anything in particular, whether it's maybe GBWC or not, just modeling, what would you like to do more of, or practice more, or try more in the future? What are you planning on doing more?
Yes. I actually have some idea for next year or next year's job. I don't know whether I can complete it, but I guess bring some more ideas into the work is definitely my next project or next topic for my work. So not just limited to the model building. Actually, how to bring more ideas into the GBWC. I think this is something I really interesting to know, and for myself as well. So what kind of new elements, which is other works, not the previous work, whatever we have see on the GBWC that doesn't have, is something I was really interesting to put on. So so far, I can see most of the model is fixed, which is kind of, like I said before, maybe angle limited and fixed styles of that one. And I remember in Australia, there's a 1 year, I don't know whether it's Alan's work or not, but I saw someone put the moving mechanics into the work, so the work can actually turn. And
I think, was it the the Korean winner that had the tree that was spinning around? Because I know that one year there
Um,
was one that was rotating that was, I think,
okay.
the Korean GBW.
Rotating, yes. That's I didn't know that, but I was talking about the offline
Okay.
Australian
Okay.
GBWC because
Mm,
I see that in the I think 2019 something like that.
mm.
Someone do the job which the machine gun can turn, and also it's the
Ah.
rotating mechanism on there as well.
Mm,
So yes, I really like to put this kind of elements into
mm,
my next project and to see what's the movement can the rotating mechanism can help to present the work as well or not.
mm.
Could be challenging. Maybe
Sure.
I fail, but
Okay.
I really like to have something new like into the works because
Mhm,
I know how to say the painting skill or the craftsman skill which you can see, which is every um, competitor from the different country will definitely emphasize on because this is very hard to get.
mhm,
And you have some kind of your own hurdles when you're
mhm,
making models. For example, painting, I think, yes, I can definitely improve, but the percentage of making that, how much improvement could be very, very tiny, even if
mm,
you spend a long time.
mm,
So I can see I have a very low score on the ideas. So why not?
mm,
I put some more ideas into
mm,
that because that could be actually help to get better score next year or something this
mm,
year or something like that.
mm,
But the question is what kind of idea you want to bring into that.
mm,
And I have the feeling like GBWC actually start to be more open
mm,
and it's accepting more kind of concepts and materials and all other things other than just Gunpla kit.
mm.
I have kind of feeling, maybe just me, maybe I missing stuff, but yes, I do really like to test out next year or next project to see how it's will work out over there. So bring more
Mm,
new things, I guess, something
mm.
refreshing people. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, you don't know necessarily if it's going to work or if it's
Mm,
going to be successful for GBWC, but it's going to
mm.
be successful for yourself personally, and
Yeah,
you can
yeah, that's
enjoy
right.
making it. So
Correct.
um, that's fine. Um,
Mm.
Well, I feel like there's a lot more that we could talk about, so I hate
Yes.
to cut us short. I do want to wrap up here for today. So, I think we can probably plan on having another interview later on. I would certainly love to talk with you some more about some more aspects of your work, and I want to talk about, you know, some of your tools and things like that as well. I think
Mm.
would be very interesting. I'd like to hear it, but just for now.
Mm.
Before we wrap up, I will just say to people again to make sure to check out Jacky's social media pages on Instagram, Twitter. You said you also have Weibo. I'm not
Yes.
sure if that's pronounced correctly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Weibo and the Bilibili.
Mhm.
Yes, so not very popular channel, but yes, I can
That's
link to
fine.
later on, so you can have a look. Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure to check out his work there. And just the last thing I wanted to give you an opportunity to is to give any advice you might have for builders who are maybe interested in GBWC, but maybe not necessarily
Mm.
GBWC or just kind of modeling in general. What advice you might give to people?
Sure. Yes, I guess from my experiences, like making model is kind of hobby for me.
Hmm.
So making fun is the most important. So
Mm,
I know everybody want to enter GBWC and win the final, but
mm,
winning or not is probably not initial task you want to make in your models. And
mm,
so make more fun and make more get some more experience and
mm,
then keep entering is my
mm,
advice to
mm,
to
mm.
the other model builders. And
Right.
yes, um, keep this passion and keep this hobby always on. Will be your, I guess, the most earning things when you look back a couple of years back and something
Mm,
like that. So you will definitely get something on it from it, and
mm.
yes, you will definitely benefit from the experience you have as well. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, like you said, I think at the start of our conversation that you had entered GBWC a number of times
Mm.
previously and not won, and you just kept,
Yeah.
working on your skills and entering, and
Correct.
then eventually you were able to win.
Eventually,
So
yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
and it
So
didn't
yeah,
really take
keep
that
on.
long. It's not like it was, 10, 15 years or anything like that. It was only a couple of years. So, you
Yeah.
just have to work on improving your skills, and yeah, that's
Mm.
good. All right. Well, Jacky, thank you so much for joining us. Those of you guys who are watching live, thanks for hanging out. And if you're watching this later, again, just a reminder that I will be talking with a couple of other GBWC champions from last year in the coming weeks. So just make sure you stay tuned for that. As always, thank you guys so much for all of your support. Jacky, anything else you would like to say to everybody for
No,
today?
that's all. Thank you, Jack, to invite me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talking all this probably nonsense.
No, good. There was a
over
lot,
here.
and like I said, there's so much more I'm sure that we can talk about, but we'll have to
Yes,
meet
yes.
again.
Yeah, no problem. So if you need anything later on, let me know and on Twitter, and then I'm feel more than happy to share some of my experience or whatever the things you want to discuss later on. Yes.
Of course. Awesome. All right. Thank you. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.